Have you ever wondered why rich people seem to get richer while so many people in this world struggle to even make enough money? Here are the key things I've learned about money that I wish I learned a few years ago. If I learned them way back, I probably would have had more money than I have now. And I can't wait to share them with you in case you need to learn them too, and in case you want to have more money in your life. First thing you gotta remember is to stop listening to people who have no money. It's like the blind leading the blind. Would you go to a music teacher if you wanted to learn accounting? No, right? So why would you go to someone with no money if you wanted to learn how to make money? It does not make sense. Also, when you listen to these people, they could be well meaning friends, well meaning relatives who are not even at the financial place, the financial spot that you aspire to be. When you listen to them, it's more likely for you to actually adopt their beliefs, which, if they had the right beliefs about money, they probably would have had the amount of financial success that you would want for yourself. So, if you are serious about your financial future, then make sure to listen to the right people and make sure to surround yourself with these people, which is the second point, because when you surround yourself with rich people, there's this thing called osmosis, right? And you get to adopt the things that they know. You learn what they know, and you adopt the things that they believe the more you surround yourself with good-hearted rich people. Okay? Because these people have the financial success that you want, and so they must be doing something right. Now, you want to make sure that you are listening to the right people. You're listening to people with the right values, people who have morals, and people who have the right ethics. Because let's face it, you could be a fraud and rich, but that doesn't necessarily lead you to becoming a better person too. And the thing that most rich people know is that money is just really a byproduct of value creation. And being in business, having more money, it's actually a spiritual thing, because the more money you have, the more money you can give. And the more money you can give, the more lives you can impact in this world. Think about Bill Gates. Think about all the things he's doing for his foundation to eradicate or to even mitigate poverty. If you think about the richest people, usually they're really the ones who have the most to give, and usually they are the ones tackling the biggest problems and the biggest challenges in this world. They have the resources, and I'm going to be talking about the right rich people here. They have the right values that have gotten them rich and that will keep them rich. So, doesn't matter what you need to do. If you need to pay for coaching, do it. Because really, if you think about it, getting more money is really just being of value even more, And it's really about just being the right person that people would want to give their money to. The third thing that you want to remember is to stop saying the words, I don't have money, I can't afford it, only the rich people have money. And things like money is hard earned, money doesn't grow on trees, and money is not important. You want to make sure you do not ever say those words ever again, okay? Because if money were a friend and you tell it like, hey girl, you're not really important in my life, you're just this thing that like is there, and I don't really need you in my life, like I don't care, I couldn't care less about you. If that were your friend, if you actually said that to a friend, do you think money would stay? Do you think that friend would be happy to come to you? Like, most likely not, right? So, we have to be careful with the language that we use around money because, as it sounds so cliche, you've probably heard about this like so many times, but it's so true. Your thoughts become your words, and then your words become your reality. And so this is something that I've also had to learn. It's like I used to say, oh, I can't afford that, like I don't have the money, like instead of saying these things, like add the word how. Or okay, add the word how, like say, how can I afford this? Actually ask the question, because just stopping at you not having the money does not solve the problem. And when you go into asking mode, into like, okay, so now how can I afford this? How can I get the money? You're actually finding solutions to the problems you have, and you're not just resigned and like, oh, I don't have the money, which doesn't really solve anything. If you're really, if you're not financially ready yet, you could say, you don't have the budget for it yet. But just avoid saying you don't have the money, because that just reinforces the belief that you don't actually have the money. And it sounds like it's some woo woo BS stuff, but if you look at the language of rich people, they don't say, I don't have money. They don't say that. Okay? They say, I don't have the budget. Or they ask, how can I actually afford this? How can I actually get the money? Okay? I think we're on the fourth thing now. Could be wrong. Let me check my copy. Okay. Yep, we are on the fourth thing, and that is to expose yourself to abundance. If I could just tell you how this made a significant change in my life, uh, this video would not be enough for it. Basically, before I really started making the amount of money that I wanted to make a year ago, I started just literally just traveling and, surrounding myself with abundance. And how do you actually do that, right? How do you actually surround yourself with abundance? Well, it's as simple as, going to the stores that you want to go to that you don't yet have the budget for. Say, trying on a Rolex watch, or going to an expensive neighborhood, traveling outside the country, just like really exposing yourself to things that you don't have the budget for yet, but that you want to have in the future. It can also be something as simple as going to an expensive restaurant and buying your friend like coffee there. What does this actually do to your brain? It communicates that you have more than enough. It communicates that you belong in abundance, instead of like, oh, let's not go to that place because it's so freaking expensive, or because we can't afford it. It's just literally like the fact that you surround yourself with that kind of environment. You communicate to your subconscious that like, oh, right, I belong here. And like, I can probably don't have the budget for all this now, but I will in the future, right? And it actually gives you something to look forward to. It gives you something to work towards. So try this out. Personally, it's worked for me. And I have definitely claimed being a traveler before I was really able to like go out there and actually have the money to travel. So it works. Lastly, what you want to remember is you need to actually be a more valuable person. And that entails learning the needed skills, the skills that people need, learning about new industries, just learning things that are in demand that you're actually interested in. Because, again, money is just a byproduct of being valuable. And if you go to the right person and you solve their problem and you add enough value to them, they're gonna be so freaking thrilled to give you their money. Okay? Trust me, at one point I was also like, shit, I'm broke. I don't know where the fuck do I get money. It's like, this shit seems hard. How do I actually fucking get money? I was there at one point. But I realized that you just literally need to get in front of the right people. And the internet makes this a lot easier. So it starts with being a person who's valuable enough that there would be people who would be so thrilled to actually give you the money that you want. A bonus tip that I have for you guys is to break out of your mold. This means stop letting your labels affect you. Stop believing your labels, okay? I used to think that I was the girl who just earned less than X amount every month. And I wanted so much more, but because I had that belief that like, oh, I'm young, like I'm probably capped at my max, even though I constantly see people who are even younger who make like way more money than I do. Right? So what you want to do is you want to break out of that mold. This is one of the most life-changing things I've ever gotten, which was Mitch's advice. He told me to change my environment. So I did. And changing my environment meant hanging out with people who were here even when I was still here. And changing my environment meant getting out of my small town. Changing my environment meant not doing the things that I used to be doing. It literally was such an inside job at first. And because I actually had to get myself out of my comfort zone, right? To actually change my environment, because it is quite a shocker sometimes. But when I did that, I was able to get out of that mold. I was no longer just this girl from Davao who was lucky if she could make 50,000 a month. I stopped being that person. And I stopped believing, the labels that I attached to myself that were holding me back. So I hope this has been helpful. If you have any questions about making money, I'm not a financial guru whatsoever. I'm just sharing literally the things that I wish 19-year-old, 18-year-old Angela would have known so she could make way more money. All right? So if you liked this video, I hope you'd share it to someone that really wants to be more and have more and do more in this world. All right? Let me know if you have any questions. Give me your ideas. Like, what do you want to see from me? Let me know. I'd love to have your ideas. Ask me questions. Let's do a Q&A. Whatever you guys want. I will see you on my next video.